Hey, what's going on, everybody? So, a lot of people have had questions about Qliphoths lately, so I thought that since I've been playing them quite a bit, that I would go ahead and do a little video for you. So, the first Qliphoth that we're going to talk about is this guy right here. It's Qliphoth Tool. This guy is really is the main engine for the deck. He's the one that you're going to use to be pendulum summoning. He's pretty much always going to go into the pendulum zone. He's a pendulum level 9. All the Qliphoths are either going to be 1s or 9s, so it makes them really easy to pendulum summon out a lot of Qliphoths. By paying 800 life points for this guy, you get to search out any Qliphoth card out of your deck. That means you can search out any of the Qliphoth monsters, or you can search out any of the Qliphoth spells or traps, which is just ridiculous. So, Qliphoth Tool, run at 3. He's absolutely amazing. Moving on. Alright, so the next class of Qliphoth is kind of the ones that get activated when they get tributed. And Qliphoths have a really cool ability to special summon, when they're tributed. We'll get to that in a second. Now, all Qliphoths, with the exception of Tool, have an ability that you can normal summon them without tributing, but when you do, their level will become level 4, and their attack will become 1800. It's constant with all of them. Qliphoth Genome here, if you use it as tribute for another Qliphoth, though, for Qliphoth's tribute summon, you get to destroy a spell or trap card in the field. Okay. Qliphoth Archive, if it gets tributed, gets to bounce a monster from the field back to the owner's hand. These cards are great for clearing the field and making way for other cards, and it's also important to remember that Qliphoths, since they're pendulums, when they're tributed, they're going to go to the extra deck. That means you can just pendulum summon them back out again. You reuse them as more tribute fodder, so these can be very destructive. These are also the first two that you'll probably want to start searching out, and as you can see, one is a pendulum 1, one's a pendulum 9, so this is the really good starting way to go with your turn or your game. On to the bigger ones. Qliphoth Disc. Now, Qliphoth Disc is absolutely devastating because when you tribute summon it using Qliphoths for your tribute, he gets to special summon 2 Qliphoth monsters right from your deck to your side of the field. So you lose maybe your archive and your genome. You're going to pop a back row, you're going to bounce a monster, you're going to get this guy, and then he can summon out another genome and another archive for you, or 2 genomes, or 2 archives, or another disc, or whatever you want, really. But it's just absolutely devastating to just summon out more just in your deck. The field presence is great. Qliphoth Shell. Qliphoth Shell, if he is tribute summoned, you're going to be able to attack twice. He's also got a breakthrough ability, so he will go through your opponent's defenses to do trample damage. I should also mention that whenever any of these 4 Qliphoths right here, Genome, Archive, Disc, or Shell, is tribute summoned, no monster with a level less than that monster's level its effect is going to be able to affect it. So that's additionally wonderful. Now, once you put them in the pendulum zones, they have a slightly different effect. Qliphoth Genome will be able to decrease your opponent's monster's attacks by 300. Your monsters will get an additional 300 attacks if you have Archive in your pendulum zone. You'll gain 300 attack points as well in your pendulum zone for Disc, and once again with Shell, they're going to lose 300 attack on the opponent's side. That's going to come into play a little bit here in a minute once we get to some of our advanced tactics. Now, Qliphoth Sacrifice, we're getting into the support cards. Qliphoth Sacrifice is an absolutely amazing support card. Whenever it's sent from the field to the graveyard, you get to search out a Qliphoth monster from your deck to your hand. It does not have to be activated. You can set this card face down. They can Night Beam it, MST it, Dust Tornado it, whatever. It goes to the graveyard. You're going to get to search out a Qliphoth. So that's awesome, because you can bait it and still get an advantage off it. In addition, it's going to get that same effect if you tribute summon, if you equip it to a Qliphoth monster, and that Qliphoth monster gets tributed. So maybe you equip it to a genome. The genome's effect is going to activate. The equip card's going to activate, and then maybe the disc you tribute summoned for is going to activate as well. So you'll get 3 effects off of it that are all awesome. The Qliphoth Sacrifice's effect is going to increase your monster's attack by 300. It's also going to allow it to be used as 2 tributes for a tribute summon, so you can get more mileage out of an archive or a genome with it. Onto Qliphoth Fortress, which is our field spell. This is going to allow us to get 1 extra normal summon per turn, which that's just more ability to tribute, and there actually is OTK ability using this card and going disc and then into shell. In addition, the normal summon of Qliphoths cannot be negated, so you don't have to worry about the hitting warning on you if you got Fortress in the field. Trap cards, Apocalypse, you can add up to 3 face-up Qliphoth Pendulum monsters from your extra deck to your hand. This is a really good way to get your tool back after it's been destroyed, and it says up to 3, which means that you don't have to go for 3. If you got 2 tools in your extra deck, which you're usually not going to bring back, you can grab them with this. Qliphoth Phone Train. Normal summon Qliphoth monsters gain 300 attack and their effects are negated. That means the effects that make them level 4 and 1800 attack are negated, which means that they just bump up to pretty high attacks. You can normal summon a Qliphoth Shell, which is normally 2800 attack, so its effect will be negated. It'll bump up to 2800 attack, and then on top of that, it's going to get a 300 attack point boost, which means that it'll be at 3100 attack, and that's your normal summon for the turn. And then if you have your Fortress on the field, you can get an additional normal summon on top of that. So this can be really great. In addition, no, I guess that's just about it. The real thing about this, though, is it's only 1 turn. It's just gonna negate the effects for 1 turn, which can be nice because sometimes you'll want to get those monsters' effects back later on. Getting into some of our advanced tactics now. Trampolinix is going to be great used with Qliphoth Tool, because Trampolinix, when you pendulum summon, allows you to bounce a pendulum monster back to the hand. So you can bounce your tool back to the hand after using the effect to search out, reactivate it, pay another 800 life points, search out another card. So you get a lot more mileage out of your tool using Trampolinix. And of course, Skill Drain is absolutely amazing in this deck. Just for the fact that, once again, you can not only negate all the nasty effects your opponents have, but your monsters gain massive attack points just from being normal summoned right out of your hand, Beast King Barbaros style. Now, one other important thing to mention is all the pendulums, all the Qliphoth pendulums, when they're in the pendulum zone, say that you cannot special summon any monsters except for Qliphoth monsters while those cards are in the pendulum zones. So what's a really, really nasty combo to do is, if you pull out your Trampolinix and you bounce your pendulum, your Qliphoth pendulum back to your hand, you bounce that tool back to your hand. Before you reactivate the tool, think about overlaying into 103 Ragna 0 that says once per turn during the player's turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, then target 1 face-up attack position monster your opponent controls, whose current attack is different from its original attack. Destroy it. And if you do, draw 1 card. Why is this so great? Well, because where are you? Qliphoth genome here. He's going to make all your opponents lose 300 attack if he's in your pendulum zone. So you can bounce the tool back, then you can activate the genome in his place. Your opponent loses all those attack points off their monsters, and then you overlay. If you've already overlaid into Ragna 0, you can start popping off their cards to draw cards. The only real downfall in doing this is if you turn your Qliphoths into Xyz material, they will go to the graveyard, not to the extra deck. Alright, so I hope this has been a helpful and informative video for you, and have a great day.